Jews are one of the most prosperous and wealthy cultures in our society. Some of the most powerful and wealthy figures of our time, such as Michael Dell, George Soros, Mark Zuckerberg, or Ben Shapiro, are practitioners of this faith who, despite representing about 1% of the world's population, own more than 52% of all wealth. And this is no coincidence, because if there's anything that characterizes Jews, it is their way of thinking and understanding life. A way of thinking that is focused on success and abundance. In this video, we will discover the 4 basic principles of Jewish abundance thinking and how to implement them in our lives. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on notifications. Only then can you be sure you won't miss the amazing tips for becoming more abundant and successful. Let's get started. The Jews are an ancient and educated people who know how to make the most of adversity and who consider wealth to be something of great value and importance. It is a culture that has been persecuted many times in its thousands of years of history. For them, wealth is not about showing off luxury or impressing others, but something necessary to live a dignified life and be protected from life's adversities and unforeseen events. A masterful example of this can be seen in the iconic film by director and screenwriter Steven Spielberg, Schindler's List, where you can see the relationship that Jews make between prosperity and survival. The Jewish way of thinking is a way of thinking that is absolutely clear when it comes to wealth and abundance. They have no doubts about whether it is good to be wealthy or not, or negative ideas about wealthy people, as may be the case with some people who are going through a precarious financial situation. For Jews, wealth is a good thing, and something they want in their lives in a much clearer way than ordinary people. Their culture is based on wisdom passed down from father to son. One very interesting fact is the way they manage their total income. They allocate 10% for religious tithing, another 10% for donations to the neediest people or family members who are going through difficulties, another 10% saved for emergencies, another 20% for any kind of investment, and another 50% to cover daily expenses. This is a great example of how important financial literacy is to this culture. Now, let's look at the 4 secrets that make Jews people of abundance. Number 1. Abundance thoughts. If I were to ask you if you believe that all people want to be rich, what would your answer be? Most people would say yes. Why wouldn't a person want to enjoy a life of abundance and fulfillment? But it so happens that many times people are not fully convinced whether they want wealth in their lives or not. Wealth is attractive to everyone, but quite a few people have conflicting ideas about wealth and what it really means to be wealthy. Thoughts such as, the rich are evil and abusive. Wealth is only built by exploiting the poor, or it is better to be poor but honest, keep many people chained to a life of deprivation. An example of this can be seen in the book The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, a very interesting work where he studies the difference between the mentalities of a person who naturally makes a lot of money and another who finds it difficult. Unlike most people who have contradictory and confusing ideas about money and wealth, Jews are very clear that it is something necessary and important. Proof of this is the unity of their culture around financial education and resource management, which is so valuable that it is taught to new generations all the time. Number 2. Giving to others. The most common thought is that the less you give to others, the more you can keep for yourself. But wealthy people don't think that way. They know that the world is full of wealth and abundance if you know where and how to look. So they give more, and there's no harm in giving to those in need if it's done in a justified and caring way. They believe in their ability to produce more resources, so they know that they are perfectly capable of replenishing those resources when they need them. In a more spiritual and logical sense, Jews know that giving is one of the cornerstones of abundance. When you are willing to give of yourself, you set in motion a kind of virtuous cycle that will only allow you to give more. Whether it's because God, life, or the universe rewards you for your good deeds, or as an inevitable consequence of people seeing you as a giving and abundant person, it will give you the image of a trustworthy, hardworking, and generous person. Someone that everyone wants to associate with and do business with. Giving is magic. Number 3. Believe in something greater than yourself. Much of the wealth of the Jews comes from their faith and trust in God. They truly believe that they are stewards of God's wealth and resources on earth, and that it is their duty to properly manage this wealth. That their wealth and prosperity are nothing but a direct blessing from God, the inevitable and logical result of fulfilling this task in the right way. Whether or not you are a religious person, whether or not you share the faith and religious principles of the Jews, or whether or not you consider yourself a more pragmatic and materialistic person than a spiritual one, you must understand that there are only good things to come from believing that you are part of something greater than yourself. Not only in finance, but in many other fields as well, spirituality builds incredibly strong, disciplined, and successful people. Not you consider yourself a more pragmatic and materialistic person than a spiritual one. You must understand that there are only good things to come from believing that you are part of something greater than yourself. Not only in finance, but in many other fields as well, spirituality builds incredibly strong, disciplined, and successful people. Quite a few successful athletes firmly believe that God is on their side, that a higher being is helping them achieve their dreams, that He has given them all the tools to get there, and that they are part of the purpose of something greater. There is only good in this way of thinking. The sense of transcendence and purpose of being part of something big and unique will make you feel useful in a way that very few things can. It will give you tremendous confidence in your abilities. After all, what can make you feel more confident than knowing that you were created by a higher being to do something unique and special, and that you have a job that only you can do? Finally, it will make you more resilient and able to cope with change. For even if things do not turn out the way you expected, what could be better than knowing that someone higher is watching over you, guiding your steps, and making you well in the future no matter what? It doesn't matter if you are Jewish, Muslim, or Catholic. Faith can make you abundant in many, many more areas than just financial. Number 4, learn and take action. As mentioned earlier, Jewish culture is inextricably linked to learning and education. Jews pay special attention to the abundance and training of the young, teaching them the rules and ways to learn how to invest and use their money. One of the most common habits in this culture is to reflect daily on what one has learned during the day and how one can improve. No matter how much talent or natural ability a person has to play a sport or perform an art, if he never learns or trains, he can never become a professional athlete or a great artist, not as long as he lives, thinking he already knows everything and there's nothing more to learn. The same is true in finance and wealth management. Think about point 2. In order to give, you must first have something to give. Wealth is built by providing value to others that they are willing to pay for. But if you don't learn, what value can you bring? Abundant people are confident in their own abilities, but they know they can always learn more, grow more, and bring much more value. As always, the key to success and outer wealth is to refine and enrich your inner world to become a person whose way of thinking, acting, and understanding the world allows you to create the reality you want. We hope this video will be of great help to you in your process of becoming a much more wealthy person, and that the tips left here will be useful to you. Be sure to share any doubts, questions, or suggestions in the comments. And if you like the content, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications to see more videos like this one. See you next time!